Welcome to Laura's Farm Stand. I started my farm stand when I was in high school. Started with just growing 1 acre of crops, a little bit of pumpkins and a little bit of sweet corn, doing everything by hand, planting, weeding. And since then it's grown a little bit every year. I like to always try something new every year. So this is our second year with our sunflowers. The first year we had a good number of people come out, and definitely by now with our second year the word's gotten out and we have tons of people coming every day. We've had the Sunflower Trail open for all of August and into Labor Day. So here's the entrance to our Sunflower Trail, and it's half a kilometer long. It's about a 10 to 15 minute walk, and you can come take photos with your friends and family. You can also cut your own sunflower for $2 each. We have saws available on your way in. So the other main things we have at Laura's Farm Stand, other than the sunflowers, is sweet corn, tons and tons of sweet corn for sale, peaches and cream, and yellow corn. And then just coming in about 2 weeks, we'll have a huge pumpkin patch open with tons of different kinds of pumpkins, all like colors, like white ones, pink ones, yellow ones, orange ones, small, big, everything pumpkin. And we have pick your own, walk through our pumpkin patch, or pre-picked as well. So previously I had done multiple little farm stands in the local area. This year I've cut back. I just wanted to do the one farm, like where our home farm is. I was expecting it to take a few years to get back to where we were, and we've surpassed that in 1 year, so that's always so exciting to see that accomplished. This year, because of COVID, our stand has been a great activity for people to come and enjoy because we have tons of space. It's outdoor. It's something that hasn't changed a whole lot since the COVID. So people love like pretty much a breath of fresh air, a great activity to get out of the house, come enjoy with the kids. We have lots of people who come many times.
I recognize after years of working with women in women's circles how important community was for me, for my growth, for my expansion, and how even though I felt really alone, I knew that I wasn't, and I wanted to be able to show up in a way that helped me and gathered women together so that they too could take advantage of a strong community of amazing women. In December of 2018, I had this brainwave, and out came the idea for the 100 Women on Fire. I was inspired by beautiful women in my community and the great things that they do, and I'm like, would you be interested in coming to hang out with me and talk a little bit about how great you are and the cool stuff that you know? And they're like, sure, and it evolved and evolved. And April of 2019, we had our first 100 Women on Fire event, and it was phenomenal. It was a place where when you walked in, you felt comfortable, like you were in my living room and you're just hanging out with 100 really cool people. And I'm really excited to keep that energy going. Our second event was to be held in April, which of course was postponed. And now we have the first virtual event being done in October 17th and 18th. More than ever, it's becoming apparent that this small group of privileged folk who created the social norms that we've been living in for generations, they need to be set aside, and we need to come together and use our voice to help to lift each other up and to strengthen our own reserve. My mission is to help women to embrace their awesomeness and write a new chapter of their story and help to rewrite the narrative for the next generation. This year's, even though it's virtual, it will still maintain the same element of connection and community. And the purpose is to help women, all of us, to sort of walk through what it feels like to come up against uncertainty and to be able to look at it and look within ourselves and find what we need to be able to take that next step. And so that they can walk away from that weekend in October with tools and strategies and connections and and belief that they can do what it is they need to do by following that little voice inside. In the early stages of development of the event, I knew I wanted to be including an opportunity to give back to the community. In my before times life, I did a lot of advocacy work for poverty awareness, and I know how important it is for women at every stage of their personal evolution to feel supported and connected. That sense of aloneness is the number one reason why women don't move forward. So last year at the event, we gathered funds from the ticket sales of the event and then donated those funds to Heronia Transition Homes, which is a local shelter community or shelter organization in the Midland area. And this year, I had planned to do the same. And then again, things happened, and April, the event did not occur. And so I was looking to try to figure out what I was going to do. I had, prior to the April date, I had organized with another amazing woman named Christine Killing, we had organized this purse exchange. So instead of just donating funds, this year we wanted to be donating purses, and we were going to fill them with items of love and things that women need when they are in crisis and they enter into a shelter. So we had done a purse exchange where women came from all over. The stipulation was it was a free event. You just had to bring more than one purse and leave everything except you could take one home with you. So when we started, we had, I think, 200 purses, and then by the time everyone left, I had about 135 or so left over. And then COVID happened, and so the event wasn't happening, and then things shifted, and now I had all these purses, and I had no event and nothing, no other funds generated in order to be able to fill them. So just recently, I put it out to my community, out to the world, and I said, you know what, I have all these purses. I want to follow through with the opportunity to fill them with items of love and connection. And within 2 days, I was gifted with about 100, they were called teen packs, so they have all the hygiene supplies that someone could want, and then I was able to fill the purses. So now, along with that and some financial donations, as well as other supply donations and additional purse donations, looking to expand beyond what we've gathered here, which is 100 purses that are full and ready to go, and to be able to kick it up a notch and see how many we could gather. With the shift in date, I was able to connect with Angel Friedman, who is the founder of the Fill a Purse for a Sister campaign. Now, her campaign runs from September 1st to December 1st, and so originally when the event was in April, it wasn't aligned. And now that we've shifted, I'm very excited to be able to connect with her registered charity, and it's a national campaign, and they collect purses for women all over Canada. So we now have 100 and hopefully more purses that will be able to link with the Fill a Purse for a Sister campaign and ensure that these purses get into the hands of women who need them all over our country.
This year, the Women and Children's Shelter Barrie is doing Walk a Mile a little differently. This year, we are taking the full month of September and going online. We are encouraging people to grab friends and family and strut their stuff any way they wish. Walk, run, skip, hop, all for Walk a Mile. Snap a shot of your activity and share it with us. Once you take a photo and share it on your socials, be sure to use hashtag #WalkAMileBarrie. We want to see how creative you can be while you walk a mile in her shoes. Register at barrieshelter.com. Registration is based on donation, but we do have a new way of giving this year. Starting September 1st, you can text Give Hope to 30333 to donate $25 to Walk a Mile.
Within the social housing portfolio here at the County of Simcoe, the Department of Social Housing is actually located more broadly within Social and Community Services Division. And that division provides a lot of human-centered services for individuals and families, including Ontario Works, Children and Community Services, which includes child care fee subsidy and the administration of the overall child care system, And also it includes community services, which is homelessness. Now, when it comes to social housing department, which is the department that I work in, we have two main lines of business. We have Simcoe County Housing Corporation, which is a portfolio of housing that is owned by the county of Simcoe. And then we also run housing programs, and those are oversight and supervision and administration of the overall social housing system of nonprofit and cooperative providers all across the county, including in the city of Heronia, as well as the administration of affordable housing programs. And very importantly and very relevant to this particular project, we have a 10-year affordable housing and homelessness prevention strategy, and that was approved in 2014. It's a 10-year strategy, so it goes until 2024, and it has a target of 2,685 new units to be created by the end of the 10 years. So the County Aurelia Campus project will go a long way towards meeting the targets for the overall area of Aurelia, as well as the surrounding townships of Oro-Medonte, Ramara, and Severn. When the county did its 10-year affordable housing strategy in the couple of years leading up to 2014, we took a very proactive and robust approach to planning the 10-year strategy. And a lot of time was spent analyzing statistics, analyzing trends to really make sure that the targets that we had within that strategy well and truly were going to meet the needs of population growth, including a certain number of the vulnerable populations continuing to need affordable housing. So we know that in the years preceding 2014 up to the approval of our 10-year strategy, that we actually addressed the need for affordable housing with a full-on approach, and that the target of 2,685 new units by 2024 is an appropriate target. We have not re-articulated that target in light of the pandemic. We did, however, do a 5-year review in 2019, and we reconfirmed that the target of 2,685 new units by 2024 was indeed still a good target, and that review and the update report was approved by County Council in 2019. The County Aurelia campus builds on a lot of strengths that we heard about in the community, and it also addresses needs. When the county had an opportunity a few years ago to purchase the former high school property at ODCVI location at West and Borland Street, we did so knowing that the piece of property was larger than what we needed for a straightforward affordable housing build. But we knew that we could build something special in the community. And so after the land acquisition had been completed and the high school was demolished, we knew that we needed to really undertake a fulsome visioning and community consultation process. And that's what we did. Council directed us to go ahead and do that. And what we learned in that process through the input of a lot of community agency stakeholders, but also a lot of local residents. And it also included representatives from the neighboring townships as well as from the city of Aurelia. Our county council has demonstrated tremendous leadership in investing in this site. We are putting into this site monies from the Social Housing Reserve as well as from development charges that the county collects. We have municipal service partners that will be contributing to this as well as the county. And we are also putting in some funding under the Federal Provincial Affordable Housing Program. Originally, we had thought we would do 100 units on this site. And as we got involved in stakeholder conversations, we realized that it would be smarter to go for approximately 130 units. And the reason for that is that we have the opportunity to create approximately 29 or 30 additional bachelor units. Now, Simcoe County Housing Corporation has not traditionally built bachelor units into their designs. We usually build 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units, mostly 1 bedroom units. And in this particular design, we heard that there are some really vulnerable target populations within Aurelia and the surrounding areas that would really benefit from having studio or bachelor units. So we will work in partnership with those agencies in order to be able to identify through an expression of interest process, quite likely, to identify what are the best ways of working more closely in partnership with those agencies in order to be able to have referral processes and make sure that those bachelor or studio units really do serve the most vulnerable populations. And by that, I mean it could be isolated seniors with a lot of vulnerabilities. It could be persons with mental health and addictions problems, with supports, of course, that come through the agencies that provide them with supports. It could be persons from the developmental services sector. We just knew that this was a critical need, and we had a perfect opportunity to be able to address that need on this location. As for the remaining 100 units, we have a real cross section of 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units. We know that 3 bedroom units, families go into them, and 2 bedroom units, the same thing. So our focus on this particular site, out of the 130 units, the vast majority of units, about 2/3, are aimed at the 1 bedrooms and the studio apartments. And that was highly evidenced in our 10-year affordable housing and homelessness prevention strategy as being a key need for singles and also couples. The County of Simcoe is really, really excited to be able to move forward on this project. We heard loud and clear from the community that what was wanted and needed was a vibrant multi-generational hub that would meet the needs of affordable housing for not just the city of Aurelia, but also the surrounding townships of Oro-Medonte, Ramara, and Severn, and that it would also provide necessary social and community services for people who have needs in the area. So we're really, really excited to be able to move forward with the design of a vibrant multi-generational hub in this area that will be of benefit not just to the local residents and the people who live there, but also residents of the local area. We're excited because we're going to be able to create another 130 affordable housing units. We're excited to be working in partnership with key agencies such as the Victoria Order of Nurses and Simcoe Muskoka Family Connections, as well as Early On Child and Family Center and licensed childcare, as well as, of course, the County of Simcoe supports that are offered through the Social and Community Services Division. The whole fit of all of those agencies together will create the vibrant hub that was the result of the visioning process in 2019, and we're thrilled to be able to move forward with this.
Hospice Simcoe has been in the Barrie community for a little more than 30 years, and we provide emotional support, spiritual support, practical support for people that have a life-threatening illness and those that are bereaved. So we do community supports with day programs. We go into your home and do home visits. We have a residential program. So at your active end of life, when you're dying from a life-threatening illness, you can come and stay with us. We have 24-hour care of nursing support for pain and symptom management. And then we also have a program for bereavement. So those that are grieving the loss of a loved one, for any type of loss. It doesn't need to be a loss connected to Hospice Simcoe, but any type of loss, you can contact our bereavement group, and they will help you to just journey through your grief and your bereavement. We could have groups or one-to-one. We have lots of complementary therapies, massage and therapeutic touch and group, so on and so forth. So there's lots of ways that we can help those that are emotionally and physically burdened with end-of-life disease. The pandemic, of course, when it came in mid-March, everything was quite, we tightened up everything. We sent our volunteers home. We sent the majority of our staff home. We still operated our 24/7 nursing care here. Our 10-bed end-of-life care facility was still open, and we were accepting residents and their families to stay with us. But it did just change. We're now doing a lot of screening. Our visitors are restricted to some extent. So that has been a bit of a change for us. Our community programs, like our visiting hospice, we're just starting to go back into people's homes again now with special training for the volunteers. And we're starting to do one-to-one grief and bereavement work. But the majority of it is all virtually. So example, just like what we're doing now. So things are over Zoom or by telephone support. And actually, we have found it's been quite interesting that our community has adapted to that very, very well. And people are feeling safer to some extent, being at home in the comfort of their home and doing virtual support for their bereavement, or if they are dying at home with a life-threatening illness. So it's been a big change. The staff and the volunteers have been incredibly committed and dedicated and pivoted really, really quickly to ensure that we serve people and meet their needs to the best of our ability during this pandemic. So our hike for hospice has always been the first Sunday in May for many, many, many years. And we have had many families come and join us. So anybody that's been touched by hospice, we come together. We usually come together at Sunnydale Park or wherever the venue may be over the years. And we walk in honor of someone that we have lost and that someone that we're just honoring and remembering. And it was always a beautiful, beautiful day. And unfortunately this year, as the pandemic has hit, we're not able to have large groups gatherings because last year we had over 700 participants that came to our hike. So we can't do that, and that's unfortunate. However, we need to honor people that we love and that we have lost, that have passed away. So we want to do a virtual hike. So we're asking people to come together for a 10-day sort of period and do a virtual type of hike. So they can hike or bike or walk, jog, whatever they may do over those 10 days. And it's really just a time of honoring and reflecting and remembering their loved one. And it's also an opportunity to raise money for the hike. So last year, for example, with our 700 participants, we raised over $110,000. And that is key. It is truly pivotal to continue our operations, especially during this pandemic. Our costs have gone higher in regards to personal protective equipment, the costs of masks and gloves and gowns and so on, what we need to do. So it is really key that we continue to raise the needed money to continue with our operations. It's a time of change, and we need to adapt. And I think it'll be really interesting to see how people react with the hike. For example, in the past years, lots of families would come together. It would be quite amazing, very touching. They would come and they would walk together, and they would all have matching T-shirts, and they would, have a picture of, for example, their mom on the front of their shirt, and they would say, "Walking today," or "Hiking today for hospice," or "Hiking today to honor my mom." So people this year will need to be a little bit creative on how they're going to still honor and remember and cherish their loved one for this hike. But I'm sure they will adapt, and they will need to pivot just like they have with all the other aspects of their life, and keeping their bubbles and keeping the public health recommendations together so they can walk in small groups. And but still the goal will be for them to honor and remember their loved one. So it will be interesting this year to see how people will sort of pivot to a virtual type of hike. But hopefully their hearts are still, honoring hospice and honoring their loved one. So you could go to our website for sure at hospicesimcoe.ca, and you'll see a hike button there, and you can click on there. It will give you the details on what you need. You could call into Hospice Simcoe, and somebody would help you out that way. You could just call us at 705-722-5995, and you can ask questions there. You could also contact our fund development manager, Linda, and Linda would help you out. You can email her. She's just Linda, Lynda, at hospicesimcoe.ca, and you could get some information that way if you wish. You could come to our facility. We may screen you at the front door, but we could give you a paper pledge sheet if you wanted to. There's multiple ways that you could get registered to register for the hike. Yeah, we'd be really excited to see people come and pick up a pledge form or talk to Linda, visit our website. Lots of ways to get connected to our hike for sure. We truly do depend, if those are not aware, we do need to raise about 60% of our operating budget. So it's a little more than, about $1.3 million every year that we raise. So the hike is one of our major fundraisers. And So we, are really hopeful that it's going to be successful. To help to raise that over 100,000 would be very, very helpful for us. So we need to continue to do that and be creative on how we can raise that money so that we can continue to operate our 24/7 organization and provide the community and bereavement supports that we have always done. So we're very hopeful that the community can come together and participate in our hike and help us raise those much needed funds.
So at CMHA, we certainly have been adapting, like I think everyone else in this world, and responding to the needs of our community. At CMHA, we didn't stop providing some of our critical services. And now we are working on some plans to return to the office, but a lot of our services are going to remain virtual because it's done really well.
The peer support group we offer weekly. It's on Wednesdays at 3:30. It's open for anybody to join. And really it's just a group where people come on and tell their lived experience stories. You're able to connect with people that are kind of going through similar experiences you may have gone through, or somebody who's gone through similar experiences. It's just a safe place to be supported. And we also teach about certain topics like mindfulness, CBT, just things of that nature. So if you'd like to join, please email me, and my email is on our main website.
This pandemic has affected everybody in so many ways, and our mental health is certainly in the forefront. We've heard talk about that's the second pandemic is dealing with all the mental health, fallout from people being isolated and, being alone. So we certainly, our crisis services, which are offered 24 hours, 7 days a week, have been busy. So that's amazing. We know people are reaching out, and we're just trying to, provide support where people are needing it.
During this time, I've been able to be at home with my family. So we've been a good support for each other. I think everybody's kind of scared and nervous because it's all a lot of unknowns. We don't know when things will get back to normal. We don't know if things are going to get better anytime soon. And in the meantime, like I said, it's just reaching out for support, because a lot of people, they might not feel comfortable reaching out, or they might be afraid to reach out, but you can't be afraid to ask for help. Everybody needs that support and that help sometimes. And it's very important that if you do feel a little bit off, or you feel like you're going down a wrong path or a wrong direction, then it's important to reach out and get the support you need.
There's no right or wrong answers. I see a lot on social media, people judging each other, and there's some harsh words about what others think you should do. And I just don't think anyone knows. So you need to make the decision that's the best for you. So if your choice is to send your child back to school, then that's your choice, and that's fine. If your choice is to keep your kids at home, then there's nothing wrong with that, because we just don't know what's going to happen, and you have to make a choice that you're comfortable with and that you're going to be, well with. And things can change, right? So again, day by day, what do we know today? What do we have control over today? How are we sleeping? What's our diet looking like? Are we eating healthy foods? Are we getting exercise? So those kind of things we can control and just really monitor, because that's how we kind of, check in with ourselves to see how we're doing. Sleeping, eating, exercise, and talking, right? Talking with somebody that you trust. You don't have to have all the answers. So if I have somebody in my life that is struggling, I don't have to have the answers. I can just be here to listen. If I do perhaps have, a resource to share, that's fine. But I think, the biggest thing is just being available. So not feeling like you have to be a therapist, you have to be an expert on mental health and addiction, that you can just be present and just be there to say, hey, do you want to talk? I'll listen. And sometimes that's the biggest help that you can ever offer, is having, an ear for somebody and not being afraid, right? And if you are afraid, or if you feel like you need to get further help for somebody, then just be honest with that person and saying, I think we need to go to somebody and we can maybe talk about this further. But again, just being, patient and being willing to listen.
Yes, to be supportive and be there for the person. And if you are the one struggling, to be accepting of the help that's offered. it's a hard thing to accept help and to reach out for help. And at one point in my life, I was struggling very badly, and I made the jump and reached out for help to the CMHA. And I began seeing a counselor one-on-one here at the CMHA, and really, the CMHA is a huge reason why I was able to change my life. It's an amazing organization, and from me working with the CMHA has now put me in this position that I'm in now to be able to help others with my experiences. So it's just very important to reach out for that help, and it really could save your life or change your life.
This year, 5 local libraries have partnered for a cover-to-cover competition. So I'm really excited to say that Barrie Public Library has partnered with Bradford West Gwillimbury Public Library, ESSA Public Library, Innisfil Idea Lab and Library, and Midland Public Library to bring you Simcoe Reads. So basically, we have each chosen one book and one champion, and our champions are going to read our books and have kind of a cover-to-cover competition duel almost. So it's going to be a debate, it's going to be really fun, and at the end, one of our books is going to be the winner. You caught me. I'm reading one of the Simcoe Reads books. This one is From the Ashes by Jessie Thistle, and it is Midland Public Library's pick for Simcoe Reads. I've got all the books here with me today. This is Cherie Dimeline's Empire of Wild. This is Bradford West Gwillimbury's pick. An Ocean of Minutes by Thea Lim. This is Barrie Public Library's pick. And then I have the e-version here, Moon of the Crusted Snow by Wab Rice, and that's Innisfil Idea Lab and Library's pick. And then this is the ESSA Public Library's pick, The Saturday Night Ghost Club by Craig Davidson. So each of the libraries is hosting their author for a virtual author talk, and Midland Public Library had theirs 2 weeks ago. We had ours with Craig Davidson last week, and they'll both be available online shortly. And the other 3 libraries have theirs still coming up, and everyone is welcome to tune in to chat with the author, with the champion, have a chance to ask some questions, and get to know their author and champion. Our champion, Emily Wood, picked the Saturday Night Ghost Club book, and after she'd read several, and she was really passionate about this. And when I looked at the title or the book cover, because I do judge books by their cover, I was like, oh, that looks so scary, not something I would normally pick up. But I'm so glad that I did, because it ended up being my most fun summer read. And we were privileged enough to have Craig join us last Thursday night, and the talk was so meaningful and so fun, and I think our community is emotionally invested in this book winning. This is the first year for Barrie Public Library and all of our libraries to have Simcoe Reads, so it was really fun. We just decided to get together and kind of join all of our communities together. Books give you a window into other people's stories. You know, there's a lot of research out there saying that people who read are more empathetic. We kind of understand other people's stories. And these books in particular, I think, really bring about new perspectives. So every book is slightly different, but we've discovered that there's themes that run along all of them that are kind of the same, whether that's family, whether that's something unexpected happening, whether that's choices that we make or legends or stories. There's so many different things that kind of tie these books together.
This is Coke Dog's signature fundraising event. We're having a high tea on September 20th to raise money for our Coke Dogs. Because of COVID, we wanted everybody just to remember that Coke Service Dogs is still out there, and because this is our signature event and so many people love it, we're always sold out. So we know people love the event, so we thought let's do a virtual one and we can still get fancy, have our friends around, have our tea. So what we're doing, we have this lovely box, and inside that lovely box is our high tea.
Look what has just arrived, my high tea in a box. Thank you, Cope Service Dogs. I wonder what's inside. We have a beautiful flower to include in your decor, along with color-coordinated placemats, napkins, and of course, by candlelight. Your high tea is catered by Liberty North, includes fabulous sandwiches and dessert. You will be entertained musically and of course our annual fabulous fashion show. So get your tickets today, September 20th. Go online and we will see you there.
Thank you, Tracy.
I'm honored to be curating the fashion show portion of the high tea again this year. I think it's my 4th year doing it. It's such an honor to be part of this event, but also to be able to bring focus to some of the wonderful shops that we have here in Barrie, featuring what they offer in terms of fashion, and it's just a lot of fun. I was introduced to Cope Service Dogs when they were looking for someone to drive the van. It was really my first exposure, and I love dogs. So it kind of made sense that I could drive puppies all over town and take them to school, and that would be fun. But as I got to know more about the organization, I realized the real impact that it has on so much of our community at so many different levels, and it just made sense for me to support them in whatever way I could.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce this beauty. This is puppy Zuzu. She is a Cope Service Dog in training. She is 2 years old and almost ready to move on to her life partner, whom she will provide support, emotional support, physical support, and all the great things that Cope Service Dogs offer. She's had intensive training, as do all of the Cope puppies. She has been at school, canines in the classroom program, where she is being paired with a student. The student's been learning and helping to train her, and she's also been in intensive training with Cope Service Dogs trainer to do her fine tuning, so she knows everything she's supposed to do. So it is a very big investment to train these dogs over the 2 years, and so it's so important to have funds to continue this program and do all of the great work that they do. So we thank you all so much.
Le Petit Chapeau always donates a lovely fascinator to us to donate to our silent auction. So this year she donated this lovely little, can you see it? It's gorgeous. So we're going to auction it off and hopefully raise a lot of money. We're going to give everybody the website for the silent auction, and it'll be open for probably a couple weeks so that they can go and shop. But we hope that they really go on the day of the high tea and see what they can buy for Christmas gifts, birthdays. We have a lot of really great stuff coming up. We're going to have also full instructions inside the box of how to prepare your high tea. And we also would like people to send their pictures to us as well.
So on the day of the event, people can tune in through the YouTube channel, the information of which will all be included within the box of the high tea. And we have a wonderful lineup featured. Andrea Murray is our host, and she will be popping in and out to give updates and introductions.
Hi, I'm Andrea Murray, and I'm inviting you to the Cope High Tea on September 20th. We're going to have fashion. Oh my God, we're going to have puppies they'd like to lick. And we're going to have a wonderful afternoon, so I hope you'll join me and this canine crew.
We have wonderful and musical entertainment. Of course, we have the fashion show and also the silent auction that was mentioned earlier. The poet laureate will also be presenting one of her pieces, and it's just generally going to be a wonderful, fun, warm, yummy event. We hope that you can join us on the 20th of September for our Cope Service Dogs High Tea. Tickets are available now at copedogs.org. If you are unable to join us, you are certainly welcome to provide a donation through the website or check out the silent auction items and make your donations that way. 100% of the proceeds go to Cope, so we thank you very much for your participation.
We've changed our spaces quite a bit. So we've taken out some seating, made sure that we have areas clear to maintain physical distancing in our branches. It feels much more open when you come inside. Our patrons can come in and browse. That's our biggest change right now, is that people can actually come back in, browse for selections themselves. Our staff are still more than happy to help people select items, but you can go to the shelves on your own. And so, we ask that people don't touch stuff too much, but it's okay if you take something off and then put it back, that's okay. Anything that has to, you take it to a table and take a look at it, then we'll put that into quarantine. But anything, just like light browsing is okay and is encouraged. People are really grateful to be back. We've missed our patrons, and our patrons have missed us too, and they've just missed being able to come in and enjoy our spaces. The computers have been really popular, so there's been, the pandemic has really highlighted some of that digital divide and people who may not have access to computers or the internet, and they've really missed having that access. So the computers are busy, and again, people are just happy to come in and browse. It's one thing to place a hold, go on. If you know what you want, that's easy. But if you just want to see what's new and take a look at the cover and see what looks exciting, people have really missed doing that. So they're grateful just to be back in our spaces. The computers are first come, first serve, and it's an hour limit, so it's a little shorter than our usual limits, just to make sure that we can get as many people through at a time, because we are limiting in our spaces to the 50-person capacity limit. So just to make sure that as many people can enjoy as possible, we do have that 1 hour limit, and then everything is wiped down afterwards. And then we also ask patrons to kind of keep things tidy themselves too. So. When patrons come in, now we're being a little bit more proactive in terms of speaking to everyone. So everyone who comes in, can I help you find something? Just making sure that they are going to what they need to do and then heading out, so that other people can come in and use the spaces. For now, everything is still being done online, so it's all virtual. We're not doing any programming in our spaces quite yet. Continuing to reevaluate that in terms of what is safe to do. People can go on our Facebook page, on our website, and access that programming. We do have registered programs for story time still continuing, as well as things that people can go and watch whenever at their leisure. And that stuff has still been pretty popular. And to be honest, for some of the parents, it's been a welcome change in a way. They don't have to get a kid all ready in the car seat and, they can just log in at home. And I mean, I know people do miss that social interaction element of the programming, and we do too. We definitely want that back as soon as we can. So we'll put together a selection of items on a theme. So if you don't feel comfortable going to the shelves on your own, you just want to come in, grab something and head out again, you can take one of those. Just different things like, historical fiction, or some of them have been kind of funny themes, and our staff have a good time selecting the items. So it's a little bit of a mystery bag of items, and you take it home. One of the things we're going to keep is curbside pickup. So that service, offering that has been so nice for patrons. Our senior population, families, it's been so helpful for them to just be able to grab something quickly. So we're going to continue that service. So express pickup is here to stay. The other thing is we've gone a little further in our technology than we maybe would have had not for the pandemic. So we have a new product called Niche Academy, and so we've got our academy on our website, and people can go online and access the virtual programming that we provide on there. And it's also been helpful for our staff in terms of it being a training tool. So we were always sort of planning on doing that, but it became a need so much quicker because of the pandemic, and it worked out great. We're ready to welcome you back. So our spaces are clean, physical distancing is easy, we have large buildings, and just come back and visit us and see what's changed. So, during the pandemic, we did a lot of work behind the scenes inside just to make sure that our spaces are still as vibrant as they always were. And of course, we miss that community hub hum of the library, and it'll come back. As people feel more and more comfortable in this type of environment, and we can't wait.
Well, the history of Habitat for Humanity in Heronia runs 25 years deep now, and we try to have local families participate in building up a foundation so that we can have affordable housing impact in our region. We ease the pain of regular home ownership, which is a scary prospect for all of us, but we give them the path to get to there, and then that frees up that home for another Habitat family. To give you an idea, the ESSA project that we are going to be commencing, starting our groundbreaking on September 2nd, has been delayed for over a year because of fundraising. The climate in Barrie has been phenomenal. We've had strong support throughout my tenure here. The community loves what we do. They come out in droves to help us. Fundraising is what keeps us going. The Restore does help in that context as well.
The Restore is a social enterprise that supports Habitat for Humanity, and by taking in donations from our community, it allows us to sell those and pay all the administration costs for the charity. Typically, and it varies from year to year, and of course this year is a very unique year, but typically we are still able to provide funds for the build as well after all those administration costs are paid. So of course, being closed for 3 months and having no revenue come in was unusual and terrifying. We are so grateful to be open. We are so glad to see our customers back in the store and our Restore team. We miss them. We have a great core group here. We have a great core of volunteers, and it got towards the end there in May where people were calling saying, when can I come back? And I think that speaks to a lot about the people here. When I talk about the people, I'm talking about everyone. So the volunteers, absolutely. We have a core who work from 1 to 3 4-hour shifts a week, and we couldn't do it without them. Some of them have specialized training from pre-retirement that allows us to use those skills in the Restore. But as well, we have students who come in here for their hours. We have special needs groups that come in here and work, and they do jobs that we wouldn't have time to do otherwise. They're not back yet, but we hope to have them back really soon. We just want it to be a safe and great experience for everyone. While we were closed, we really got that message out on social media. While you're home, clean out the basement, clean out the garage, but hold on to it for us, and they did. Our donations immediately were full on from the moment we opened. We have our truck on the road 5 days a week picking up larger items, and in terms of shoppers, well, I'm just gonna go with they missed us because the lineups, and we are having a fantastic summer with our customers, and we couldn't appreciate it more having 3 months to make up for. The best way to find out what we take and don't take is to check out our website. It has an acceptable donations list. Follow our social media on Facebook and Instagram because we're always posting what we get in the store as well as what we take in the store. And if you need something larger picked up, just email us. You can go to our website at habitatheronia.com and all the information is right there. We are making sure that we sanitize everything that comes into the restore. Some things are getting quarantined for anywhere from 1 to 4 days, depending on what the item it is. So in order to maintain that safety for our customers, we're asking everyone to wear a mask, which we do in Simcoe County, and we're asking everyone to sanitize their hands. Obviously, we love having the shoppers in the store, but this is, bottom line, a donor-centric business. So donate, donate, donate. And of course, we have our Kitchens to Homes program where we come in and take out your kitchen before you have a new one installed. We leave it clean and contractor ready, and you get a tax receipt, we get a kitchen to sell, and we get to use those funds to build a home for a family in our community. Anybody can work in retail. Retail's a great place if you love being around people, but working in the kind of retail that makes the lives of your friends and neighbors a better place is something else. It's really difficult to describe. We get to know the homeowners very well over the time when they're doing their sweat equity. A lot of them will do their sweat equity in the restore, and by the time they're moving into their homes, a lot of the times we are friends with those homeowners. So that connection, again, it's a very unique business and it's a very unique organization. I love this place. It's not just about the stuff, but I do love the stuff. I love the upcycling and the DIY, but I love the people. This is really the whole package in terms of what somebody can do.
One of our veterans, Jack Stringer, has turned 100 years of age today, and that's one heck of a milestone. And with the COVID and everything else, him stuck in home, we could not do something, so I organized a small ceremony outside with friends, families, and other veterans to come and say, happy birthday.
The amount of effort that's been put out by Fern, the staff, I'm blown away. I'm blown away.
It's a good day. Are you happy? You're happy. Good. That's what I like to hear.
He's such a nice man, and like I said, a man of few words, but like he tried to say right now, if he could stand, he would have stood and saluted, because that's the kind of person that he is.
He was a military man. When he was in the military, his bark was very strong. Anyone that knew him respected him. When he was teaching in the military, I've met students who were just years later so thankful that he was an instructor.
Yeah, that's big enough. That's good. I'll take that side. Good job. Good job.
A lot of emotions because, first of all, knowing Jack, he served in the Second World War and he served in Korea. He lost a son in 1974 and peacekeeping mission when he got blown out of the skies by Syrian missiles. 9 Canadian peacekeepers were killed that day. That was one of them was his son. So he's given a lot to his country. And so the emotions of just seeing soldiers here again with uniforms on, the birthday at 100 years of age, it's just incredible. So I wish him so many more birthdays to come.
In 2019, we had a fantastic event here with 844 runners, 25 dogs and 2 horses. We raised over almost $104,000 on that day with a budget of 0. Fantastic achievement. The whole community pitched in. Every service, every product that we used was donated. We really showed the heart of Georgian Bay through this event. Based on our great success in 2019, we really wanted to do something bigger and better than ever this year, 2020, especially because it's the 40th anniversary of Terry's Marathon of Hope. We set out to do that, and then along came COVID, and everything changed. We had to rethink all of our plans at a national and local level and create something new this year. So what we're asking is on September the 20th, we're asking everyone in our whole area to put on Terry Fox shirts, watch our TV special at 9:30 on Rogers Cable, and then go out at 10 o'clock, go wherever you want, run, walk, jump, skip, whatever you want, as far and as fast as you want. This is your run, your way. Do something great for Terry. In addition to that, we're also asking the community to form small teams and run small community events for Terry as well. Not large gatherings, just 5, 10 people, a bake sale, a garage sale, a barbecue, whatever you can do something in Terry's honor this year. We know people have been through tough financial times, and we're trying to stress this year participation over monetary contribution. So give what you can, give if you can, but generally, whether you can give money or not, be part of this in honor of Terry. Thank you very much.